All right, so today we're tackling homelessness worker interviews, and we're going to use RoleCatcher's resources to help you nail it. We've got career guides, interview guides, even some cool AI stuff, the goal, to help you really understand what they're looking for and to showcase your own passion and skills.
It's really amazing how RoleCatcher uses AI. Like, it analyzes job descriptions and then helps tailor your resume. Even helps you tailor your answers for the interview. It's like a secret weapon that helps you stand out. Plus, they give you personalized feedback. So by the time you get to the interview, you're confident and ready.
Yeah, it's like having a coach right in your pocket.
Yeah.
But even before all that AI magic happens, we need to understand what this job is really all about. It's about being there, a lifeline, supporting people facing housing challenges.
Exactly. You're connecting them with all kinds of resources, shelters, food banks, you name it. You're advocating for their needs and helping them get back on their feet. This could take you to all sorts of places, shelters, community centers, sometimes even right on the streets.
Talk about making a real impact. But you're right, it's not always easy. This job can be emotionally tough, sometimes really stressful.
That's where having the right skills and mindset is so important. And thankfully, RoleCatcher's career guide breaks it all down. It shows you the skills and traits that are most in demand. Things like empathy, active listening, and that ability to build trust. That stuff's essential.
Totally. So let's look at some tough interview questions you might get. And we'll use RoleCatcher's interview guide as our roadmap. First up, how do you stay updated on policies and programs related to homelessness?
This is where you show them you're not just passionate, but informed. You got to be specific about where you get your info. Do you follow certain organizations? Read industry publications. Maybe you were just at a conference on housing policy. Giving those details shows you're dedicated to staying current.
I bet they'll want to know how you handle tough behaviors too.
Mm.
Seems like that comes with the territory. What does RoleCatcher say about a question like, how do you manage challenging behaviors or conflicts, especially with homeless clients?
Here's where you show you can stay calm when things get intense. RoleCatcher really emphasizes de-escalation techniques, setting clear boundaries, knowing when to bring in other professionals. You got to think about a specific situation where you successfully de-escalated something and be ready to share that.
So it's not just knowing the techniques, it's how you've actually used them.
Yeah.
That makes it much more real. What about building trust with these clients? That feels super important. Like, how do you approach that?
Yeah, building trust is absolutely essential. RoleCatcher highlights things like active listening, empathy, and being transparent. You're not just there to provide a service. You're an advocate, someone they can confide in. Think about specific strategies you use, like motivational interviewing or trauma-informed care. That helps build that rapport.
I like those points. Now, before we go deeper into more interview questions, let's take a sec to talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can help. This is where it gets really cool.
Right. Imagine there's a tool that looks at the exact job description, and then it suggests ways to make your resume better to hit those key skills. That's RoleCatcher's AI in a nutshell.
Wait a minute. So it's not just a basic resume builder. It actually makes it fit each job.
Exactly. It's like a personalized resume writer who knows just what those hiring managers want.
That's amazing. So it helps you stand out, especially when they use those computer systems to scan resumes.
Exactly. And it's not just resumes. RoleCatcher's AI helps with interview answers, too. It analyzes the job description and suggests how to make your answers stronger.
Whoa, that's like having a coach right there with you.
Okay, let's get back to the questions then. This one seems pretty straightforward, but I bet there's more to it. How do you help clients get housing and other basic needs?
Yeah, it's not just about knowing where the shelters are. You got to show them you really understand all the resources, like housing programs, options for financial aid, different support services. Think about how you've navigated those systems before, and be ready to give specific examples. So they want real-world experience, not just what you read in a book.
Right, and don't forget those basic needs outside of housing. Healthcare, food, transportation, all that. Think about organizations you'd partner with to meet those needs, and how you'd advocate for your clients within those systems.
Okay, I see the bigger picture now. It's not just about giving direct help. It's knowing the whole support system.
You got it. Now let's talk about another question that comes up often. What experience do you have working with homeless people who have mental health or substance abuse issues? This is where your compassion comes in and how you deal with sensitive situations.
This one could be intimidating, especially if you haven't heard with this population specifically. What's RoleCatcher's take?
Honesty is key. If you haven't worked directly with them, just say so. But you can still talk about any related experience you have, like training in mental health first aid or crisis intervention. Even experience with other vulnerable groups can apply. The point is to focus on the skills that carry over, like building rapport. and providing support in difficult situations.
That's good to hear. So it's about framing your experience to show those essential skills. Okay, this next one's interesting. How do you bring trauma-informed care into your work with homeless clients? This seems pretty specialized.
It is, and it's getting more and more important in this field. Trauma-informed care recognizes that past trauma shapes how people act and the choices they make. It's about making a safe space, building trust, and letting clients make their own decisions.
I see. So it's not just about the services, it's understanding what might be driving their behavior.
Precisely. It's recognizing that trauma shows up in different ways and adjusting your approach to fit that.
This is really insightful. Before we go into more questions, let's talk about career paths. Where can this role lead?
Oh, good one. You know, one thing I love about RoleCatcher's Guide is that it doesn't just focus on landing the job. It also looks at how you can grow in your career. And the good news is the outlook for homelessness workers is pretty positive. The demand is there. And you can even specialize in certain areas like mental health or substance abuse, or even move into leadership.
That's great to hear. So it's not just a job, it could be a whole career with real potential.
Absolutely. With experience and professional development, you could even influence policy, advocate for systemic change at a higher level. But for now, let's help you ace that interview. We've got a few more questions to tackle, and they're some of the most thought-provoking ones yet. It's really amazing to think you could go from helping people directly to actually shaping policies that impact whole communities. But okay, back to those interview questions. Remember, we're using RoleCatcher's Guide to be as prepared as possible. So this next one's all about teamwork. How do you work with other service providers and community partners to meet the needs of your clients?
Yeah, this one seems pretty straightforward, but I'm guessing there's more to it than just saying, I'm a team player.
You got it. It's about showing you can build relationships, communicate well, and advocate for your clients within a whole network of support. Think of it like weaving a safety net together.
So you need to prove you understand why collaboration is so important, and that you're okay working with different organizations and professionals.
Exactly, and be ready to share examples of successful collaborations. Maybe you worked with a housing agency to find someone in an apartment, or teamed up with a mental health organization to provide more comprehensive support. Highlight those wins.
That makes sense, showing them you get real results. I bet they'll also ask how you handle disagreements or conflicts in those collaborations.
Great point. Be prepared to talk about those tough situations. Think of a time you had to navigate a disagreement with a partner organization and how you resolved it in a way that helped the client. This shows off your communication and problem-solving skills.
This is all super helpful. Okay, let's try another tough one. This comes up a lot in RoleCatcher's Guide. How do you manage stress and take care of yourself in such a demanding field?
This question's super important because it shows self-awareness. And whether you're committed to sustainability in a field that can be emotionally draining, it's a marathon, not a sprint, you know?
Right, they want to know you have healthy ways to cope and that you're not going to burn out in a few months.
Well, exactly. Be honest about how you take care of yourself. Maybe you do mindfulness, work out regularly, or have a strong support system. Whatever it is, share those strategies and emphasize how they help you stay grounded, how they help you stay resilient.
Those are great examples. You're showing them you're in it for the long haul, and that taking care of yourself means you can take better care of others.
Now let's try a question that might throw you off. Tell us about a time you made a mistake at work. What did you learn?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Nobody likes talking about their mistakes.
True, but this isn't really about the mistake itself. It's about showing you can reflect, learn, and grow. It's about humility and wanting to always improve.
So they're looking for that growth mindset, not perfection, but being able to admit your shortcomings and learn from them.
Exactly. Pick a mistake that's relevant to the job, but not a total deal breaker.
So don't say you're bad at time management if the job needs someone super organized.
Right. And the key is to frame it positively. Talk about how you're actively trying to improve. Maybe you're taking a course or have a mentor. Show them you're proactive about your own development.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Take something negative and turns it into a chance to show how much you've grown.
Hmm.
Okay, before we move on, let's go back to how RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer.
Absolutely. We talked about how it tailors your resume and helps you write better answers, but it goes even further. Imagine practicing your answers and getting instant feedback on your delivery, your tone, your clarity.
Wait, really? It's like having a practice interview with an AI coach.
Exactly. And that feedback is so valuable. It helps you pinpoint what to improve, refine your answers, and ultimately boost your confidence before the real deal.
Wow, that takes away so much of the guesswork.
And the best part, It's all tailored to the specific job you want. RoleCatcher's AI analyzes the description and gives you feedback that matches what that employer is looking for.
That's incredible. Okay, we've covered a lot today. The challenges and rewards of this career, some tough interview questions, and even how powerful AI can be in your job search. But before we wrap up, I want to give our listeners some key takeaways. What's the one piece of advice you'd give someone prepping for this interview?
That's a great question. If I had to boil it down to one thing, it would be let your passion shine. This field needs people who are compassionate, empathetic, people who truly want to make a difference. Let those qualities come through in your answers, your interactions, everything you do.
That's powerful. It's not just about skills, it's about having the right heart.
Exactly. And when you combine that heart with the knowledge and preparation we've talked about, you become a force to be reckoned with.
I love that. So to everyone out there getting ready for this interview, you have the power to change lives. Embrace that power, prepare well, and let your passion be your guide.
And remember, resources like RoleCatcher are there to help every step of the way.
That's right. Use those tools, practice your answers, and walk into that interview confidently. You got this.
We're rooting for you.
Now, before we say goodbye, let's think about what we learned. We explored what it means to be a homelessness worker, tackled some of the toughest interview questions, and saw how technology can be a huge help in the job search.
It's been quite a journey, and we're so glad you joined us.
But before we go, one final thought to ponder. Something we didn't talk about directly, but it's a question every aspiring homelessness worker should ask themselves. What unique strengths and experiences do you bring to this role?
That's so important. It's about going beyond the usual answers and showing what makes you, you.
Think about your personal journey, your values, what you're passionate about. Maybe you have a background in art therapy, or you speak another language fluently.
Yeah.
Or maybe you've overcome challenges that give you a unique perspective on resilience. Whatever it is, embrace those qualities and let them shine in your interview.
It's all about connecting who you are with how you can make a difference in people's lives.
Exactly. So as you prepare for this interview, take some time to think about your strengths and how they fit with the organization's values and mission. Remember, you can make a real impact on people experiencing homelessness.
We believe in you.
Good luck out there, and thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Until next time. Yeah, it's really inspiring to think about all the different things people bring to this work.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about a question that can be kind of awkward. What are your salary expectations? Feels a bit loaded, doesn't it?
It can be, yeah, but RoleCatcher's Guide has some good advice for handling it. First, do your research. Know what similar jobs pay in your area. Sites like Glassdoor or Salary.com are good for that.
So you're not just guessing, you have some data to back it up.
Right, and be prepared to talk about your value. Highlight those relevant skills and experiences you have. Show how they justify what you're asking for. But remember, it's a negotiation. Be flexible. Maybe give a range instead of a specific number.
Good point. It shows you're willing to work with them. Okay, this next one can be tricky too. What's your biggest weakness? Almost feels like a trap, you know?
It can, but it's also a chance to show that you're self-aware and that you're committed to growth. Choose a weakness that's relevant to the job, but not a deal breaker.
So don't say you're terrible at time management if the job needs someone super organized.
Exactly. And frame it in a positive way. Talk about how you're actively trying to improve. Maybe you're taking a class or working with a mentor. Show them you're proactive about your development.
I like that strategy. You turn a negative into a positive by showing you want to grow. Okay, I think we've hit most of the big questions. Anything else we should cover before we wrap up?
There's one more that RoleCatcher suggests being ready for, and it's a big one. Why do you want to work with us? This is where your research and passion come together.
So it's not just about wanting any job in this field. It's about why you want to work for this organization specifically.
Exactly. This is your chance to show you've done your homework, talk about their mission, their values, the programs they have. Highlight something specific that really resonates with you.
So maybe you really admire their focus on trauma-informed care, or their innovative approach to housing solutions.
Right. Make it personal. Connect your own values and goals with what they're doing. Show them you're not just looking for any job. You're looking for a place to make a real difference.
That's a powerful way to end the interview. It leaves them with a strong impression of your passion and dedication. Wow, we've covered so much today. From the ups and downs of this career to those tough interview questions, it's been a real deep dive into the world of a homelessness worker.
And we've barely scratched the surface. RoleCatcher has tons of resources to help you dig deeper. Their guides and AI tools can really give you an edge.
It's amazing how they combine those cutting-edge tools with such a deep understanding of the human side of this work. But in the end, it's your passion, your empathy, your dedication that will really shine through in that interview.
So to everyone listening who's about to start this journey, believe in yourself, prepare well, and remember, you have the power to make a real difference in the lives of people experiencing homelessness. We're rooting for you.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time.